Morning. I just wanted to talk about the biological functions of fat cells and how they're affecting your body. And so fat cells do truly feed themselves. Like when you put on a little bit of excess body fat, you start to feel hungrier. And it's because fat cells are super selfish. They really, oh, sorry, distracted. They're really hungry, right? And so they're like, oh, we need more of this. We're hungry. So we're going to convince the biological organism that we're in to get us more energy, more carbon, more food so that we can continue to expand and grow. And then eventually fat cells are going to get so big that they have one of two options. And then they don't have two options. They only have one option. They get so big that they break into a second cell. And then that cell gets big and then that cell. And so this part of fat cell, the process of it is called hyperplasia, when we just start to make new cells. And then those cells start to get hungry. And so when we start adding a little bit of body fat, it's very easy for us to add 3 pounds, and then those three become six, and six becomes 12, and 12 becomes 24. It happens very quickly because of the splitting process, right? And the same can't be said for muscle. That's why it's like you only hit a certain amount of muscle that you can ever put on, because muscle cells don't split in the same way. There's not a whole lot of hyperplasia that happens, right? And so with fat cells, it's very easy for us to put on a whole bunch of body fat very quickly, because one, the fat cells will get full and then they'll split into a second one. That one gets full, it splits into another one. And you can imagine how detrimental this process can become very quickly. And that's why it's like, oh my gosh, I don't think I've changed a whole lot, but I put on like 25 pounds in the past 6 months. It's like, well, this is the process behind it, right? And now what we need to do is shrink those fat cells, and so they eventually will die off, right? That's the whole purpose of, weight loss and losing body fat. And so reversing this process takes a little bit of time, but while you're, have this added unwanted weight, it's difficult mentally, but it's also difficult on your body, because your body is not meant to have excess amounts of body fat on it. Like, it messes with hormone function, and like I said, those fat cells want to feed each other. They don't care about like your testosterone production or your motivation, your growth hormone. They just want to feed themselves. And so what's going to happen is different processes in your body and different hormonal balances will get thrown off because of the added weight. So this is why it's really easy to feel unmotivated, low energy when you have excess body fat, is because the fat is taking up a lot of the energy that you're eating, and it's storing it, and it's building more body fat. And another thing is that it's also just throwing off the homeostasis in your body. It's throwing off the balance, right? And so the last thing that you want to think about is that, like, it's also very difficult for your blood, or for your heart to pump blood through your body when there's all this additional adipose tissue going on. And so now when we think about like, oh my gosh, like I don't like how I look, I don't like how I feel, it's one of those reasons could obviously be a visual thing, like you're uncomfortable in your skin, which is never, I've been there, it's not a fun feeling. But another reason behind it and feeling low motivation could also just be the fact that like these cells are affecting your mental state. It's affecting your well-being. And so I'm not saying don't have any body fat. You need a certain amount of body fat, like, 12 to 16, 20% for guys, and probably like 17 to 24% for women. And in that range is, you're going to start to feel better. You're going to have more energy. And it's not to say you can't feel good above that, but the whole point of being there is so that your fat cells don't suck you down and stay there. And so the way that we can kind of make this work for us, if like we're thinking about losing weight, well, those fat cells, that's just stored energy, it's stored carbon. So we just have to let our body use that stuff for energy, instead of trying to feed it more and more and more and preventing anything from coming out. We want to make sure that that energy, that stored energy, comes out and it's in the bloodstream, and then we can breathe it out. We can use it for energy. And that's really where the magic happens, which is what my 21-day metabolic reset program is about, is getting your body out of the way of your body so that you can use body fat for energy. And so this magic happens by controlling the right inputs and having the right mindset around it. Because you have to understand is that like it's a biological process that will happen with or without you, right? And so if we get out of the way of it, your autonomic nervous system, the automatic processes of your body, they're going to take over and they start to realize, oh my God, we have all this energy that we can use for ready to feel energy. And so this is why it's like, if you have 10 pounds of body fat that you put on that you're not, that you don't really, if you want it, that's fine. But if it's unwanted, you basically have 35,000 calories of stored energy that you can be ready to use. Like that's limitless energy right there. Like there's no way anybody can burn through 35,000 calories in a day. Like absolutely no chance. And if you could, you'd be bouncing off though. Like you would have more energy than you know what to do with. So that's the whole purpose of getting out of the way, resetting your metabolism so that you can start to break down these fat cells and use them for energy instead of just like flirting around and, you know, having it continue to store and store. Because realistically, your body can do one of two things. It can either store fat or it can burn fat. And so we want to make sure that it's burning fat. And by burning fat, we're going to use that fat for energy. Right. So it's a pretty straightforward system. I just wanted to clarify a couple of like the mechanics behind the system. So if that was useful for you, and if you want to know more, and if you want to know how this can work for you, then go ahead, book a call. I'll put the link in the description of this video. We can get you started.